Even though the show has only been around for 7 years, for many Bluey is already on the Mount Rushmore of children's TV, right up there with goats like Arthur, Blue's Clues, and Sesame Street. And part of its rise is Bluey's unashamed devotion to fun. But is there any way to get that kind of adventure, spontaneity, and enrichment for ourselves? Rise up, GG Nation, because it's time for Guidance Guy Friday, your weekly guidance lesson from your internet school counselor. And today, let's see if Bluey's recess all day attitude is something we can actually do ourselves, or if it's just another case of TV magic. Let's go! It's guidance time!
I'll do it! Dance
When we look at the Healer family, we see a lot of great qualities. Their love for each other, their unity, and the fact that they're able to deal with arguments and disagreements without ending relationships. It's the kind of thing that everyone wants in their life. But there's an element to their dynamic that allows them to activate game time at will: spontaneity. Look, we all have schedules to keep, whether it's homework, recitals, tournaments, meets, practice, whatever. And on one hand, that's a good thing. As annoying as it can be to have to follow the clock, having a plan for your time ensures that you make the most of it. But I'm gonna tell you, there's a downside to that too. There is such a thing as being overscheduled, where you have too much going on and you're constantly doing something. Sure, it might feel good to be busy and not be wasting time, but science is showing us that this is not the best way to live. It could lead to anxiety, crashing out, and ultimately not meeting the goals that you want to attain in the first place. But Bluey and crew don't do that. I mean, look at dance mode. Imagine being on the town with the fam, knowing that at any moment you can be asked to bust out your best dance moves at a moment's notice. And it doesn't matter what you're doing or where you're doing it. If dance mode is summoned,
you must comply.
Or how about in the episode Bus, where Bandit is playing Uber to a lady and a couple grannies. But by the end of the game, the brakes of the bus have been eaten up, Mom has to take over to save everybody, and total chaos ensues. And you see how it works for Australia's favorite pups. They're happy, have a strong family bond, and it makes them fun to be around. And that tracks in real life. Research shows that even a touch of random lowers stress and makes you happier. Now, you gotta be careful about how and when you do this. Don't take this as an excuse to be all random for the lulz and then say that Guidance Guy said it was okay. Guidance Guy ain't saying that. I'm saying to do something small. A random act of kindness definitely counts as spontaneous, or just choosing to do one thing in your life differently, like brushing your teeth on the hand that you never use. Sounds silly, sure, but Bluey fans know that silly is just one of the ingredients that makes this show special.
Bye! Get us out of here!
So, be spontaneous. Take a chance and do something different every once in a while. Sounds all well and good, but what happens when things go sideways? What do you do when life just doesn't want to cooperate? And when we look closer into the world of Bluey, we see it happens to them too. So many times, either during playtime or just in their regular day, be it Bluey, Bingo, Bandit, or Chili, they have to deal with lifing. So how do they handle it? Let's head over to the episode Helicopter, where this exact thing goes down. Bluey, Bingo, and Chili have a way that their day is supposed to go, only for things to change. Bluey handles it well enough, but she's not happy about it either. Making the most of it, Bluey plays helicopter with her friends, escorting her crew from one place to the other with increasingly insane situations. But when Bluey's pals try to put their own voice into the game to spice things up, Bluey's at first not willing to go along with changes made to her game. But as she gives up control over how the game is supposed to go, what she discovers is that the game becomes more fun when she's willing to go with the flow. And that's what being flexible looks like. Cause let's be real, except for the most chill and unbothered among us, who doesn't want things to go their way 100% of the time? Go ahead, admit it. There's no shame in it. It's a perfectly human thing to want, having control over our space, our situation, and our lives. But the harsh truth is that life doesn't always cooperate with our plans for total domination. And when those times come, and they always do, we need to be flexible. And being flexible depends on the situation. It could look like finding another way to solve a problem you have. Or it could look like taking a break or putting the issue down to go do something else. Or with Bluey, it could look like taking advice from others, not being married to your ideas. Now, this isn't easy, especially for the control freaks out there. And if you watch Bluey, you know that Bluey likes having things done a certain way. But even Australia's favorite dog realizes that we can't always get what we want, and that's okay. And sometimes things work better when we don't. Just remember to have a cool head. You can't be flexible when you're raging out at how things aren't going according to plan. Take a deep breath, count to 10, walk away from the situation. Doing that will help get you into the mood to find another way. Because you can be spontaneous all you want, but when your spontaneity needs a plan B, Bluey and crew have figured out that sometimes going with the flow is the best thing you can do. Have you ever wondered if the episodes of Bluey happen in order? Like if Magic Xylophone was truly the first game that B&B played together, and that everything from Hospital to Tickle Crabs to the minisodes all fit with no time skips or going back? Even though that specific topic is a question for another day, I want to present the possible beginning of the Healer family game culture and the last secret of their family bliss. Where does it start? Season 1, Episode 12, Bob Bilby. Bingo and her classmates have Bob Bilby, a puppet that gets to spend each weekend with a different classmate, where the student takes pictures of their weekend with a hand puppet to go into their album. Think of it like a Flat Stanley project, and if you don't know who Flat Stanley is, go find a Flat Stanley book and educate yourself.
Educate yourself!
But when BB goes to Bingo's house and the album starts taking shape, what the healers see is a bunch of pics of the fam on their phones, watching TV, just chilling in front of screens. Not the most interesting way to spend a weekend. This bothers Bingo so much that the family decides to ditch the devices, get outside, and enjoy each other's company. And it's then when we start to see the Healer family that we're used to, making up games, being silly, and living life to the max. I believe this is the true first episode of Bluey, and the last key to living the Bluey life, putting down the devices and engaging with what's around us. Of course, this isn't an anti-tech talk, especially since all of you are watching this on some kind of screen. Come on now. But we gotta have balance about this. It's not like after Bob Bilby, we never see Bingo and Bluey on a screen ever again. They have moments watching TV or on a tablet, but their greatest moments happen when they're goofing around with Old Man Bandits or learning life lessons with their neighborhood friends. And it's the same way with us. As addicting as being on the socials or on our games are, and remember, the companies who make these things design them that way on purpose. The real joy in life, the real adventure is what games we make up for ourselves, the new friends we make, and the problems we solve. So real quick, let's put this all together. To get the life that Bluey has, we gotta go off script every once in a while and just do something just because. Also, be flexible and go with the flow when things don't go as planned to see the opportunities that can come from it. And lastly, slow down on the screen time and get your IRL game up. Even though not every part of Bluey's world is realistic, as it turns out, the aspect of her world that we love the most is actually the easiest to attain. But before we dismiss, I want to know, what's your biggest takeaway from Bluey? Let's see it in the comments while you do the YouTube thing. Apparently, a nasty amount of you who watch this aren't even subscribed, and you know how to fix that. And if you're in the mood for more Bluey deep dives, check out this video where I answer a question that too many are afraid to even ask. Is Bluey the villain of her own show? See you there. Guidance Guy out.